very good evening to you from wherever you're watching us from. Thank you so much for sticking with us. My name is Aguko. It's a pleasure being with you on this fine Thursday. I hope that you're well. I hope that your day has been doing on well. Mine has been okay. I'm glad that you're with us. We are coming to you live from the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation here in Nairobi, Kenya. We are also streaming live through our website, and that's at www.kbc.co.ke/Y254. A repeat of this show airs every Friday at noon. Remember to catch us even on Fridays. And also head over to our YouTube channel where our shows are posted so that you can be able to catch us from wherever you may be at whichever time that you so please. Thank you so much for sticking with us. This is Power Talk. And tonight we have a very interesting conversation lined up for you. This is a story of one man. We will be talking about how he transitioned from life in crime to being an advocate of mental health, mental awareness. He is one person who is the CEO and founder of Nikofiti Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, this is none other than Nicholas Wechenje Orito. He's joining me as we talk about history, maneuvering life, doing charity and masculinity. Karibu sana, my brother.
Asante, thank you so much.
Hope you're well.
I'm well, thank you.
Unafeel vipi leo?
Wow, roho inapiga, but I'm happy to be here.
Kuna joto fulani.
Kuna joto, but tunaweza kurelax.
Uko sawa. Thank you so much for coming, my brother.
Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate your presence. Nashukuru sana ukuje kutuambia story yako.
Yeah.
It's a great honor.
Thank you.
And of course, I welcome you from home. Be part of this discussion. Give us your thoughts in regards to his story. What do you think about life in crime? He grew up in Kibra. Kibra. Kama unajua Kibra vizuri, unajua life yenye iko. He grew up in Kibra.
Yeah.
And go to Facebook where our post has been made on our Facebook page. That's at Y254. Drop in your comments on the comments section below. And feel free to also let us know where you are watching us from.
Yeah.
Head over to Twitter also. The hashtag is a Power Talk Show. Tag me. My handle is at Aguko. The station handle is at Y254 channel. Asanteni sana. Power Talk starts now. And Nico.
Yes.
You, first of all, before we get into a lot of stories, kuna Nikofiti.
Yes.
Nikofiti is all about what?
Nikofiti is all about fitness.
Fitness.
Yes, we want a society that is physically fit.
Nika gym, mama.
Ni gym, aerobics, but sana tumeventure kwa Zumba Fitness. Zumba Fitness, yeah, it's a fitness program that involves cardio and Latin-inspired moves. So lazima ikuwe na Latin moves. Si ni dance, but salsa, kuna merengue, kuna cumbia, kuna flamenco, kuna reggaeton, ziko mingi.
Nimetamani kujoin hizo maklasi za Zumba.
Karibu.
Unapatikana wapi? Hizo classes zinafanya?
Napatikana AV Fitness, iko Mbazi Avenue, karibu na Gecko Kaosh, hapa Lavington. Okay. Na pia Kibra, tuko na classes huko, class poa sana, ziko Olympic Gym. It's within a church compound. Pia iko poa sana. Yes.
Sasa umejivaa venye.
Kidogo tunasukuma.
Yule brand.
Na ile brand.
Ulianzisha hii fitness center lini?
It was 2018, but I was under someone before. I was mentored by someone. Alafu ikafika mahali pia I felt like I was old enough and ready to start my own clan.
And of course, for those who are wondering, the language today, leo tunaongea hadi na watu wako hood.
Bas, nice.
Tunaongea kizungu mingi.
Asema mazee kizungu, mazee mnanego kizungu za. So leo tuta mix English, Kiswahili na Sheng yote sa.
Guys, don't worry. We'll mix it, and I'm very flexible. For those who watch this show, I'm very flexible. Jana nilikuwa na mtu mwenye anasema anakuonanga. Big up to everybody that is tuned in today. And of course, Niko nataka tuanze.
Yes.
Life in crime.
Yes.
I know that one is not a very easy subject.
Well, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Ebu tuambie tu story yako.
Yeah. Yes.
Tangu mwanzo, from the beginning.
Okay.
Uliingia aje into crime?
Actually, mimi sikuwa involved sana. But nilikuwa mali close close friends and family members, hata wengine walikuwa murdered nikiona hivi.
As in murdered?
Yeah. Kuna, if you're lucky,
like live.
yeah. If those who are lucky were arrested, taken to prison, but kuna wale who are lynched, and like you see someone lynched, they're burnt to ashes. And this, I mean, at a tender age, you're still in lower primary and you can see this. To a point you grow, you know, as a class 8 and you can see this. You with a friend today, you hang out, ukienda unasikia niaje, Rama amepigwa ridhe.
Ridhe ndio
bunde. Risasi. So I lived in that environment. Personally, I can say my mother tried. My mother aliwork hard sana in a family of 4 siblings. Yuko. Mama moja strong sana.
Big up to her.
Yes, manze. So she tried her best. Buda alihepa tukiwa watoi. So akatuacha na mom. Mom had to go to work early in the morning, anarudi jioni, anatuacha in this community where everything happens. So akikuja jioni, there are times angepata siko, because of your peer pressure, so nilikuwa nikilack food, ningeungana na these boys and we would go to the garbage Langata. We eat from the garbage. At one point hata nilikuwa nimeanza kusniff glue. Oh, mother alikuja akanipiga vita ingine mbaya sana because she actually tried.
Mbona mnafika kwa garbage uko Langata na
shida ilikuwa food.
Haiko kwa nyumba.
Food iko. Mom angejaribu but angepata kila wakati. And sometimes these friends would come, wangeangalia kwa nyumba tumepika ugali na omena, tuambie niko ni aje. Tukienda lango sisi ukula nyake. So as a kid also, as a young person, I want to fit in, I want to try inyama choma wanasema. And once then munaenda huko they started wanakuteach mambo na unajua ni aje nipatie ka 10 bob begging. So yes, and at one point I remember we had these big boys. They would actually send us, if you do not, they beat you up. I remember there was a time we went to natafuta vitu kwa takataka. That's the day like nilistuka sana. Tuko natafuta, we opened this paper and we found 2 fingers. One had a ring, alafu kulikuwa na madola ndani. Tukatoka mbio, we went and told these big boys. When they came, they took all the money, wakatupiga wakaenda na pesa yote na hizo rings. So living in Kibra as a young boy, it was so hard. It was so hard. Even English tulianza kuongea tukiwa form 1 because uko mtaani Kibra kila saa ni Kiswahili tunasheng. So kupata food was a problem. Then myself, I'm asthmatic, living in a mud house. When it's raining, hizo ventilation ni mingi. The houses are so dusty. Every day I had an attack. Every day. In fact, it affect academically because in one term, ningekosa like 2 months because of my condition. Yes. To a point, I remember, I won't mention the school in Elikuwa, but I remember there was a time, in the school, they would put numbers of people according to as from number 1 to the last, and I would top from below. And my mom is my hero. My mom is my hero because I remember one day she told one of the teachers, my son might not be performing academically, but one day you will know my son. My son will stand out and he's going to be someone very big. Wow. So from a very tender age, my mom believed in me. Wow. Yes, I always say I'm very lucky. I had a mom who lakuni for care. She didn't rebuke me because of my academics, but my siblings were so bright, all of them. In fact, sister yangu alienda State House Girls.
Hey. And okay, I'm wondering how Ali managed kufika State House Girls considering poverty levels pia kukosa do, but utaniambia hiyo story venye mli manage, ndio. Wacha nirudi nyuma.
Yeah.
So how old were you when ulianza kutafuta chakula kwa takataka?
Around 6
years.
7, 8 hapo mpaka nikafika kitu kama 10. hapo tuko tunaingia and sometimes we used to get really good food. We used to really, you get.
Lakini si chakula ambayo imetupwa kwa takataka huwa saa zingine imeoza, imeharibika ama...
I know, but at no point nilipata shida ya tumbo. At no point nilipata shida ya tumbo. Tuko tunakula. Sometimes unapata zingine, you don't want to think much. Unapanguza your side and you eat.
Now, let me ask you.
Yeah.
When we walk in town, tukitembea town,
Yeah.
tunakutana na vijana ambao wanaomba pesa.
Yes.
Wengine wanamwaga maji kwa
alafu anapanguza alafu ana stretch mkono.
Yeah. So are they you know, begging because you know it is peer pressure? Is someone forcing them to be on the streets? Because umesema saa zingine unalazimishwa kwenda kwa barabara. Wamelazimishwa kwenda kwa barabara ama ni hali ya maisha ambayo imewalazimisha kuomba pesa kwa barabara? Sielewi. Are they in need or are they being forced to be on the streets?
I think it's both ways. You'll always get one who, I don't want to say genuinely they have a reason to do that, because I believe they must have a guardian who can take care of them. But kuna unapata, honestly, if they do not go to the street, perhaps they won't get anything to eat. But then there's always that clique around them. Wale ulipata hii shati ulibai wapi? Hii kiatu ulikula leo kabag ulipata wapi? Come tuende hivi. So like me, I was kwa wale wenye peer pressure because my mother tried so much. We had enough, but the friends wale nilikuwa nao wao walikosa kabisa. You could tell some of them, I know of two are not alive today. Their parents would go for like 3 days bila kuwaona. So they would sleep kwa malori. Those were genuine.
So our watu ambao wako kwa barabara wanalala kwa barabara sio wote wamekosa pale.
No. Kuna tu wale they want pesa kukubai kitu. Wako kwa sababu ile, like Nick does this, Ram does this, and I see Ram with money all the time. So Ram, where do you get the money? Miss kupati, where come nikushow? Then anaingia.
So are they gangs? Yeah, they group.
Yes, they have to work in groups to survive. You will never find just a boy alone.
Are they criminal groups?
Sometimes they grow up to be criminals because they beg. They beg. Ikifika up, you know, as they grow, people are like, no, you're old enough to go into work. At that point, they're like, okay, now if you cannot give me, this is how I'm gonna find my money. So eventually, if we do not take care of them, because I'm talking from experience, I had those who tulikuwa now tukibeg, they did not stop. As the years went by, 17, 18, waka realize they cannot go. And also in the street, you get like 50, 100. Now as you grow, when you get to 18, you need good money. So you have to kind of get yourself into crime to get good money and very fast. So eventually, if that is not taken care of at a tender age, most of them, they become criminals.
They become criminals?
Yes, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Sio eti kuna pesa mingi.
Yeah, you know when you 6, 8, 10, get 50 bob, that will take care of your needs.
Yeah.
But when you get to 18, now your needs change. Unataka labda uko na kamazi umepatia ball mahali, anataka kule, wewe unataka njuta, unataka kupiga kladi yako mzuri,
njuta
kiatu.
Okay.
Sasa ukitaka hii njuta, lazima ukicheki tu Rama amekaa vibaya, unamshikilia tu jack kidogo, unampiga upipi, unachukua, unang'ada.
Okay. Ngoja kidogo. There's so many words umetumia, sielewi umesema nini. So unamshikilia, unampiga pipi, unang'ada. Hiyo ndio kufanya nini?
Pipi, mbosho. Yaani unachukua kitu unapata kwa mfuko.
Unamuibia?
Okay. Unamuibia, then unakimbia.
Ni ile kupiga ngeta?
Ndio hiyo sasa. Hiyo iko sana. Hata I think tumeona Tao a few weeks ago pia vijana working in gangs. Because hata you cannot work alone. You have to work as a union. Mwingine akishika, mwingine anapiga, alafu
So these groups that we see nowadays, you've seen so many videos
Yes,
coming up.
yes,
In a
yes.
trend.
Yes.
Mara huyu amepigwa geta hapa, huyu ameibiwa
Yes.
nini. And there's even this guy who came out and said kuna mbao ambayo inatengenezwa.
Yes.
I don't know if you know if you're familiar
Inapimwa
with
kidogo,
inapimwa
na urefu wa mkono.
Wanafanya hivyo, ni ukweli?
Hizo vitu zinafanyika sana.
So the way we see them happening in town, you've seen these groups.
Yes.
So when you look at them,
Yes.
unaona kwa TV wameshikwa,
Yes.
what is it that comes into your mind, that crosses your mind ukiona vitu kama hivyo?
A lot of things. One of the major things ni families that zimebreak. These kids wanatoka kwa familia. Honestly, if you ask them, because I mingle with them a lot, I work also at the maximum prison where with young boys and girls, 99.9% of them watakwambia they do not have a father figure. So there's no one to tell them, son, this is wrong, this is right.
It's either they're dead or their fathers just
abandoned them.
Yes,
abandoned them. He never shows up, he never provides. So if this boy cannot go to school, there is no food, no clothing, and there are friends around him who are into this, they're committing these crimes, definitely will join in. Definitely. Alafu kuna wale, their families can provide, but with them, they just don't want to go to school. They just want to live a free life. They don't want, they don't want what we call, yes, to be governed. They don't want that.
They don't. So they get into
yes.
crime and kuiba.
And that's what's happening right now. And that's why we are having very many young boys at the prison. Yes, you talk to them, you get to hear their stories. You're like, wow.
Let me cut you short, my brother. Let's take a short break and then tunarudi. And then you will tell us sasa hii crime sasa ndio unaomba kwa barabara, chakula unachukua kwa takataka. Sasa how did you end up interacting with the people who steal, people who are in crime?
Right.
Uli interact vipi na hao watu na ulikuja kutoka vipi?
Okay.
Si ndio?
Sawa.
Let's take that break. We'll be back in a bit. But I hope you're learning something. My goodness. Niliona mzazi mwingine akisema mtoto wangu ni mwizi, ni mlevi na anavuta bangi. You will tell me about
sure.
that. Sindio?
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about that. Let's take that short break. We'll be back in a bit. Keep it Power Talk.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sticking with us. We still proceed with this discussion. I want to say a big shout out to, of course, asante sana to Lamek Meek, anasema niko fiti akufiti.
Asante sana Lamek.
Ona rhyme na jina yako hapo.
Asante sana na kwa hizo rhymes.
If you're just joining us, remember we are talking about his story and how he managed to maneuver life. Okay, so Nico?
Yeah.
I want us to go straight to, the issues concerning criminal gangs, especially in Kibra.
Yeah.
How did you start getting involved with na hawa watu? Ulianza je kujihusisha na hao magangsters, wezi na watu ambao wanakosa hapo kwenye mtaa?
Yeah. As I said earlier, I was not directly involved. Mimi sikushika hizo mavitu.
Ilikuwa interaction na hawa watu.
Interaction. You know, you live with them in the same community. You see them every day. I remember there was an advert before where the government worked to ambia, wezi, they are your brothers, they are your sisters, they are people you live with in the same community. So, as a young person, you're there, you see them dressing good, they're eating whatever they want to eat, and of course, some of them are even your relatives. So you end up talking to them, you end up hanging out with them, and that's how you get to, if you're not careful, for me, what I would say, a couple of times, I would find myself, they would bring me some of the, and I would buy.
Some of the what?
Yeah, sometimes they ask me.
Wameiba.
They buy. They go buy. Most of them hawakuwa petty thieves au wanakwenda kuchukua tinguo. Most of them, they would go, outside there and rob like cash and stuff. And they would come. and they would come. Unfortunately, they wouldn't even go a year or two. You'd hear someone was shot, we hear shootiwa Aguko. And as a footballer also, we played with them.
Let me get you straight, Nico.
Yes.
How do they steal? What do they steal? Where do they steal?
Well, they have their strategy. Probably they would know a certain person and follow them keenly over maybe 2-3 weeks, know their whereabouts.
Wanafuata
Yeah,
mtu.
they know how to scheme. They're so
Area
smart.
gani?
Yeah. Some of them along Gong Road, Langata, they would go to these posh places.
Okay.
Yes, and especially as a footballer, football teams in Kibra, most of them they were involved. That's you play with them and you know this person is involved in crime, but you have to play with them. You have to talk to them. Sometimes also when the coaches plan these outings, you go with them. You cannot avoid. You have to be with them. But I can say one thing that really helped me, that I did not get into crime as much as I lived with them, I mingled with them, was church. Church and mom. So I knew church also at a very tender age. I started going and I started dancing in church. People asked me, "You gifting yako ya Zumba instructor, where did it come from?" I started from church.
Church.
Yes.
Your mom used to take you to church.
Yes.
Hiyo ni church gani?
Ilikuwaga, well, we tuliendanga na ACK. There's no dancing. So, but where we used to play, there was a church, Olympic Christian Center. This church, I have to say, KAG changed lives, many, because it embraced young people. Whether you have dreadlocks, by then we call dreadlocks or some seems our church, but that church embraced young people. And those who wanted to change, changed there.
Ngoja kwanza. Let me take a step back. Tutarudi hapo.
Yes.
Now, so these people, they would scout an area.
Yes.
Watafanya research, wakufuate.
Yes.
So is it like they spend the whole day kufuatilia mtu, ama ni time gani wanajua kufuata mtu, alafu kama ni kuiba, wanaiba na njia gani?
Well, most of them, I think they used to work with house managers. They used to also work with the security guards, and sometimes they would just hijack a car.
That's how they do it.
Yes, they would just do that, and they would steal. You'd hear so and so they had jacked a vehicle along showground, and they managed to steal, and that days they would do that, and that would be it.
It was an inside job.
Yes, most of them were inside jobs.
Security guards, house managers.
Yes,
guys,
a lot.
Ishi na watu vizuri. Ishi na watu vizuri.
Kabisa, very true. Very true. What saved me, I think, at a very tender age, mimi nilikuwa mse mwoga.
Unaogopa bunduki ama unaogopa kukimbia?
First of all, nilikuwa naogopa vita, hata shule zilikuwa napigana. Anyone who would play, like muscled up, mavita, I would always be the
silent one.
Yeah, the silent one, which really helped me a lot. Because many a times my mother would cry and would tell me, "Nico, I don't want you one day to come ulete kwangu ukiwa lifeless." My mother would tell me that, and she was always scared. She was always scared that since you're mingling with these footballers, since you're mingling with these boys, you can be caught in between. Once the police start shooting, they won't say Nico Songa Kando. So she was always scared and always praying for us. So and we used to mingle with them. That's the thing. You mingle with them, and I believe there are people who are shot not because they were thugs, but because they were mingling with them.
Yeah.
And that's why, again, I felt like, let me use fitness as a tool to go back where I was born, and to use this fitness as a tool to empower them, show them that they can earn through fitness.
Now, sometimes does it create this phobia against the police? Kuna watu wengine wakiona tu polisi tu wanaona tu kuna kajoto kingine unapata. Did it create your phobia, your woga?
For me, unfortunately, I would say, and as much as yes, I grew around them, as much as I played with them, the only time I remember the little police they can go up, I did not have my ID, and I think sometimes they can smell you. Kijana mambo, uko ID, and they started checking, and they assumed that I'm a criminal. They assumed the way they started talking, they intimidated me, and I shook even more. But at no point I looked at the police or met a police and I felt like running.
Have you had cases where police ameshika tu mtu na ameua and there was no reason for whatsoever, and that person was innocent, and you know, people are saying, you know what, you looked for the wrong person, ama kulikuwa tuna kisirani? Have you had such cases?
Well, I've heard of such cases, but the one that I've actually witnessed is where, yes, you're a criminal, or the young man is a criminal, and is found on the road walking. He's not a threat. He has no weapon, and they shoot him on the spot.
He has not done anything.
And sometimes, yes, he has it. He's surrendered, and they just tell him lie down, and those things have happened in Kibra a lot. It's not that there's that crossfire. There's no crossfire.
Yes. And he's just walking.
They told, or even they find him in the house. And maybe they can even find the we call it the metal in the house. But he's not fighting. And they would take him and they would disappear. And the next thing you're told by the parents or the siblings, Bodiaki mepeleko city mortuary. So it's not in all instances where you find that there's that crossfire. No.
And do you have cases where Jamato amechukuliwa na polisi and then they are taken out away, and you do not know why, but amepelekwa na Land Rover, and the next thing you know, amekufa.
Lifeless. Yes, that has happened a lot in Kibra. Has happened a lot in Kibra. Sometimes they just I know of a boy who was in the gang. And, you know, the mother is called and is told, didn't we tell you your son is involved in crime? And the mother is yes. And honestly, it's not that the boy was fighting. As much as yes, they got the gun, he was told to lie facing down and he was shot. I do not understand why. Because I would understand if there's that exchange of fire. But yes, he's a gangster, but he's not fighting. Yes, you found it, but he's not fighting. That's something I will never understand to date. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And honestly, Ram, one thing I can say, I wouldn't want the show to end without me saying this. Fitness has really, really, really helped young people from the slums to change their lives. As we speak, we've mentored young boys. I'm not saying they were criminals, but it feels so good to go back where I was born, raised, to see young people through fitness being able to take care of themselves.
It creates a sense of belonging.
Yes.
There's something you're doing that is keeping you busy. And
yes.
It keeps you out of trouble.
Yes. And even for the girls, the more you unazidi kukaa huko chini, you get girls at a very tender age, they're getting babies. But I believe if they can get something to do with their hands, perhaps, just perhaps, they will get a baby when they are ready.
Let's look at the society that you grew up in.
Yeah.
One, I'm looking at the church.
Yeah.
Church, someone will tell you, you know what, you look like a criminal.
Yes.
Have you had that kind of victimization?
Yes.
Based on your dreadlocks, your hair, your dress code? I don't know. How is the church experience when it comes to welcoming this group of people?
I guess that is one talk that we really need to sit down and talk about, because I wouldn't say all churches, but I have seen churches, they say church is the only army that leaves its soldier behind when they are hurt. We are soldiers. And sometimes when you are criminal, some churches, wanakwambia they disconnect you.
So you know they're afraid unaweza kuja uwaibie kwa kanisa.
Well, the question is, I'm a Christian, what would Jesus do? Yeah, what would Jesus do?
Okay.
And I feel like the church has to be on the forefront to embrace these people, because I believe the church was called not for the righteous, but for people.
For the sinners.
And who told you that people with dreadlocks are sinners? Who told you people with tattoos are sinners? I know people who do not have tattoo, but man, the thing they're doing. And I know people who have a lot of tattoos, but they're there to assist, help people. They're good people. So sometimes we judge people by how they appear. And that is a big problem. I feel like the church, the police, the social workers, we need to come together, sit down, and help our community, take care of our boys. They are down there. The church has to go there, hug them, bring them to church. Don't judge them. Do not rebuke them. Bring them close.
When you're talking about the church, I'm looking at the effect it had in Kibra.
Yes.
Do we have people whose lives were changed because of church in Kibra?
I am one of them. I am one of them.
Uh-huh.
I am one of them. The things, allow me to say this in front of the camera.
Say it.
The things I couldn't do, not because I feared God, but the things I couldn't do because I didn't want my pastor to hear that I did that. Yes.
Do you have a message to pastors watching you today? Maybe
Yes.
geuka uangalie ongea na wao.
The message I have for pastors, people, not just pastors, people who lead us in the Word of God spiritually. Embrace our boys, embrace our girls. Do not judge them because of their dreadlocks. Do not judge them because they have tattoo. And even do not judge them because they have babies outside there or they did this and that. They need you. They need me. That is exactly what Christ would do. Embrace them, hug them, love them.
Live with them.
Yes, live
stay
with
with
them.
them. Lakini si pasa atasema nyoa kidogo.
Well, I don't know how my dreadlocks would affect someone else spiritually.
You know, looks can be deceiving.
Yes.
I have seen a friend who was, a case of mistaken identity just because of the dreadlock.
Yes.
Ora naona jambazi ni dreadlocks.
Yes. Unfortunately, again, I would say if it's not fair, but it's a fact. Sometimes, if you're from Kibra, down there, and you go anywhere, you introduce yourself, you're from Kibra, and you have dreadlocks. And sometimes if you cannot even speak fluent English,
Yes.
assumption, people judge you, you're a criminal. Oh, they judge you. They judge you. There's a lot of judgment outside here. There's a lot of judgment, kabisa. And that is one of the things, if I may just guzia tu kidogo, it's also about mental wellness, especially talking about our men. Our men, we're in that society where men, it's almost okay for a man to be angry but not to be sad. You can be angry, but you cannot show your emotions. And masculinity imechukuliwa like you have to have muscles, you have to have beards, a nice watch like yours, and we lose it. That also, we forget to tell our men, and especially our men also from Kibra. Me hati yangu iko kama ghetto kabisa. That also a man, you should be able to, it's okay to enter, to be uncomfortable, to enter in that uncomfortable zone. As long as you'll come out refined.
It's okay not to be okay.
It's okay not to be okay.
I'm looking at the lifestyle in Kibra, and still, we talk of mental health here. Because umesema vizuri, there is the aspect of peer pressure. There is the aspect of criminal gangs around you.
Yes.
It can affect you psychologically when you see someone being shot.
Yes.
You are a witness. Unaona wewe mwenyewe huyu jamaa ameenda hivyo.
Yes.
And a few moments, 1 hour ago, you're okay. Mlikuwa mnapiga story.
Yes.
It can affect you mentally.
Yes. Totally. Men have been affected. Many have lost friends. And in Kibra, and especially when I was growing up, you would lose close friends, relatives, and we did not, at a tender age, we didn't have anyone to talk to about. So you grew with that, everything right there. So, and if you do not have a father figure, chances are you'll also jump there. And it's so bad because someone like me, I eventually got someone to talk to, but you know, the worst thing is seeing all this crime and you're okay with it. You're almost okay. When someone's shot, you look at them and you go home, you're okay. It's not okay.
It's not okay.
So we need people to come and talk to our young people. And ishi ndio tunaongea Ram. Si Kibra peke yake. We need people to talk to our men. We need people to tell our men it's okay to be vulnerable, to talk to someone. We have a crop of men when we go to clubs, even church or our joints. We talk about things in a very shallow way. We never have a time to ask Ram, how is family? Yeah, I heard that you had an issue with mama. How is it going? Work. Men laugh. Unatoka hapo, aman anamaliza familia. We need to come to a point where men talk. We need to talk. It's okay to cry. It's okay to show emotions. It's okay. We need that, and we need to preach that like yesterday.
Na ukiangalia, I don't know, but there is this aspect of kubeba mawe, you know, so that you can have muscles.
Yes.
That, you know,
Magans.
Magans. So even there are those who, because there is no facilitation in terms of the gym, wanaamua wanatengeneza tukachuma,
simiti alafu
kaende hivyo. There is that aspect of the true definition of masculinity, especially in the slum area. I don't know if it is true. Maybe you can talk to me about that. What do we need to change when it comes to addressing the aspect of the true definition of a real man? Kukua manaume.
I feel like, first and foremost, and not just culture to Africa, I've traveled kidogo, and sometimes when you talk about men, as I said, most men, it's like we were taught to be angry, but not to be sad. Yeah. So we need to come to a point where we create a friendly, a soft environment for men to come and talk about their issues.
Okay.
Yeah, that is one. Secondly, men, we need to talk about as I said earlier, it's okay when we mingle, when we're having a good time with each other, having a drink here and there. Let's talk about deep issues kidogo. Not the tutu za kawaida.
I meant your week.
Yes. Talk about ask your friend, ask them, hey, call Nick. Nick, how are you? How are you doing, man? How is work? We don't do that. That is also very important. I feel like also, again, the church, it's okay to create this forums, these meetings of men, for men to mingle. Do you know most of these men, do you know where they get their help? When they go to this club and hivi. The person on the other side of the counter. So what's wrong, Ram? You don't look okay. And Ram can share with this person, probably atamsaidia.
Anyway,
yes. Hapo ndio anaweza open up. But mimi best friend yake anaogopa because of judgment.
Anasema uko na umama.
Wife wewe unakaliwa. Then ataenda aseme uko nje. So hiyo kitu ya judgment Ram could be going a lot, but he will never share with Nico, his best friend, because he knows Nico atapeleka story nje, atamjudge.
Wanaume wanapigwa huku nje na wamama.
Wanapigwa hata places of work, wanakandamizwa, mwingine job imeisha juu atafanya nini. There's a problem. There's a problem that we need to address kabisa. It's okay. I repeat again. It's okay, bro. It's okay to cry. It's okay. I always give an example. My main guy here, napenda kuambia watu, is Jesus. This guy was hungry. This guy was sad. At one point, he was scared. Akisema in the Bible, you read the Bible, akisema, Mungu nitolee kikombe hiki. He was scared also. I believe he was so scared. He showed all sort of emotions. And that's how I feel like, honestly, he's the best example for us as men. Yeah? It's okay to have your big car. It's okay to have all that, what you want. But it's also okay to touch base with your emotions and feelings. You will grow. Yeah.
Hey, man, I couldn't agree with you more. You mean, man, that's so true, because those are the reasons why they get into crime.
Yes.
And ameambiwa wewe hawezi nilinda na watoto.
Exactly. Yes.
Wewe ni bure, aona mwanaume mwingine na wenzako anafanya hii.
They compare you with that other guy.
So anaanza kuiba.
So you want to keep up, so you have to. Yeah. You're so right.
Now, I want us to talk about Nikofiti.
Yes.
Nikofiti.
Yeah.
As we bring this, of course, to Malizia, of course. So, now that you've come up with Nikofiti,
yes.
How is the reception? How is it changing people on the ground?
Wow.
Yes, there is that vision that you have.
Yes.
Okay? You'll tell me more about that.
Yeah.
Also. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that question. Nikofiti through fitness, again, through fitness.
Yeah.
We're here to empower young boys and girls, and we've seen major changes. We have young boys from the slums who are now into fitness, and they are earning through fitness. And through fitness, did you know through fitness, when you work out, you're so tired, you do not have time to go for crime. You just want to go home and rest.
Yeah.
So those are some of kuna watoto wako employed. In fact, I must mention, I'm not saying she was a criminal, but she's a girl who also hustled. She went through a lot also as a young girl. Now, as we speak, she's earning ako Guinea. She's doing so well in Guinea. I have 2 boys who are earning so well. I have another girl who joined. So fitness, through Nikofiti, Nikofiti has created employment for some of these young people. And we want to go and do that more. Uko chini, watoke wafanye. We just want to tell young people, you can earn in a very legit manner and in fitness.
What is the reception? Are they coming into this? Because we
Yes.
said hapo awali that there are those who, they don't want to do it, though the option is there.
Yes. Some don't. I wouldn't tell you that kila mtu anataka, because also it takes a lot of work to be a good instructor. You have to learn your music. You have to do your practice all the time. It's not just a walk in the park. You come and you do it. So those who are passionate about it, they've come, they're there, and they're doing wonders.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I want us to bring this conversation to a close. Nikofiti. Now, we've talked about a lot, and I love the fact that you're giving back to the community.
Yes.
Unasaidia watu hapo nje.
Inabidi.
Nataka uongee na mayuth wenye wanakuwatch leo. Tukimalizia, your parting shot, final words. I don't know, your piece of advice to those watching you today. You can look at the camera there.
First and foremost, I want to tell young people, especially from the slums, that do all you can do till you get something you can do very well. Do all you can do till you get something you can do very well. Crime does not pay. Chafua mikono, work, and you know what? God will bless the work of your hands. As I conclude, I want to tell you this. I am a boy from the slums. And you know what? From the slums, I have managed, through the help of God, to travel around the world through fitness. Fitness pays. Jitole, fanya kazi, and you will make it. And Mungu kwanza.
Thank you so much. My brother. I love this guy.
Thank you.
I want us to bring this conversation to a close. You can see at the back of my my screen here, this is a quote by Chimamanda Ngozi. And it's in connection to what we were discussing earlier on. But by far, the worst thing we can do to males, by making them feel they have to be hard, is that we leave them with very fragile egos.
Yes.
The harder a man feels compelled to be, the weaker his ego is.
Oh, totally. Boom.
Boom shakalaka.
Boom shakala. Exactly. Say no more.
That is Nicholas. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much, my brother, for coming.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me.
And unaenda kufanya kitu tunafanya.
And I want to big up my team. I want to tell my team, Nikofiti team, from Dan, Monica, Beckham, Liz, Morphin, Dickens, Beckham Water, and team Nikofiti.
Yeah.
Morale. Keep up the good work.
Keep up the good work,
and
man.
Eco Fit team as a whole.
And those who are supporting Nicholas, nawaambia, may God bless you guys.
Asanteni,
You're doing
kweli.
a good job.
Kweli.
Nicholas,
Kweli.
keep doing what you're doing, my brother.
Thank you, my brother.
Asante sana.
Asante.
Nashukuru sana.